I am not okay. And I'm really gonna try hard not to cry in this review. Caution to all of you, this will be full of spoilers. I've warned you. Hey everyone, my name's Amanda. I'm the Fun Size Reader. And Zodiac Academy 7 destroyed me. Like, destroyed me. God, it took me forever to read this book. I started it a few months ago, like 2 months ago, because I was waiting to read Zodiac 7 closer to when Zodiac 8 was set to be released in December of 2022. And the release date is set to be December 11th of 2022. So I was like, okay, all the other books have had cliffhanger endings. The closer that we've gotten to this book, the more soul-crushing the cliffhanger endings have been. So I needed to push this close to December so that I didn't completely like die waiting to find out what happens. I pushed it close. I pushed it close, but then we were announced that the authors, Caroline and Susanne, said that Zodiac 8, which they are still currently writing, it's not done, Zodiac 8 was basically not coming to the close that they wanted it to, and that it was becoming way too long, and instead of having a super, super, super long ending book, they decided to split it into two. Now, I do actually have to wait an entire fucking year for the next one to come out, which is what I was trying to avoid, ladies. I was trying to avoid that, and you ruined me anyways. I finished the first 44% of the book, and I needed to take a break. I was like, okay, I need a breather. And I haven't done that in the other Zodiac books before. Some of them have taken me longer to read than others, just sheer length and like other things that are going on in my life. But this one I did actually take a break and read other things in between and then came back to it. And it was basically like reading a whole book and then reading other books and then reading a whole another book, but it's just in one because this one was so long. And they said in their author note at the end that this was the longest book. I needed that break because I was not prepared for the destruction that was the second half of the book. The way that they write their books, they always start the beginning like kind of fixing or making everything okay for now. We got a nice little band-aid on the devastation that was the end of the last book, right? So we get a nice band-aid. And then we get a lot of fluff. And we get a lot of happiness and quirky stories and funny things and just like word vomit of we love these characters and just want to spend time with the characters. But then when you get to the end of that, the destruction starts again. And that's exactly what happened. I must have paused like toward the end of the fluff. And then the way I described it to one of my friends was my beating heart was ripped out of my chest and put in a blender, and I had to watch that happen because that is what the end of this book was. Like, that was the end of this book. I have been waiting since book fucking 1 for Orion and Darcy to get their mating ceremony from the stars, and we finally get given it, only to have it ripped away from us completely. And I'm trying not to wake up my child because she's taking a nap right now. I'm trying not to yell. Completely ripped away. I have been waiting for that moment. And the moment that they were taken by the FIB, I was like, what's going on? Like, no. Now, then we were given happiness again, and it was all fine and dandy, and everything was great, and we were all celebrating, and I was like, shit's about to go wrong. Shit is about to go wrong. Like, what is going to happen? Of course, it did. because they can't just be happy together. They can't just be happy and mated. No, she has to be this freaking beast that's been killing everybody in the boroughs, and now she doesn't know who she is, and she's attacking him, and she attacked Geraldine, and I cried when I thought Geraldine was dead. But I was like, I was in so much shock that I didn't believe it. I was like reading it and I gasped out loud. And then I was like, no, this can't be. She can't be gone. She can't. Now, Orion had to freaking make a deal with Lavinia to be her slave for 2 moon cycles, which doesn't seem like a long time, but it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a long time. And she is just going to freaking torture him. And I honestly, I don't even know how bad that's going to be. Like, I saw Caroline say that this next book, Zodiac 8, is the darkest book that they've written. I don't know how this is gonna go. Obviously, Orion is my bae. Like, Orion is mine. And so this is going to kill me. Like, worse than him being in Darkmoor. I thought we had finished with the misery for Orion, but I guess not. And then there's Tory and Darius. Knowing that Darius was going to leave us soon did not prepare me for him actually dying. Did not prepare me. Like, we knew he was going to die. That's the deal that he made with the stars at the end of the last book. Like, we spent this whole book knowing it was coming. But then to have Lionel kill him and rip Xavier's wings off and do all these horrible things to his sons, and then to have Catalina literally sacrifice herself for her sons, like, oh, I sobbed. I sobbed during that whole freaking chapter. As soon as she talked about, like, sacrificing herself for her boys, I was like, I'm done. I was like, so done. And my husband looked, I can't cry my lashes off. My husband looked over at me and he was like, is your book wrecking you? And I was like, yeah. These fucking sisters, I'm telling you. I tell you guys all to read this book. It's gonna do this to you. Sorry. But, like, that's how I know that I have found a series that I just absolutely love, because I do not cry about characters very often. I do not. And I cry about these ones. So, yeah. And now Darcy's mortal. And if she doesn't become a fae again, I'm going to be so upset. Like, I will sob, because then her and Orion can't be together. So even though they were fated mates, like, they're not anymore, because she's not a fae. And so I knew that they were just going to rip that away from us. They were going to give us this nice little present wrapped in a bow that we've been waiting for, and then gone. And then gone. How much more misery can we take, ladies? How much more can we take? But you know I'm just going to keep coming back. Like, you know I'm just going to keep coming back. And I'm going to tell more and more people that they need to read this series. And I swear to God, if this doesn't become a show, like, I need to watch it on the screen. I need to be able to buy all of the seasons and just watch them whenever I want it, because I need that in my life. If you're listening to me, I know I have this tiny little corner of the internet, but if you're listening, please make it happen. Please. All of us, thank you. That being said, I think the fact that I cried in this book and it devastated me so much means that it was 5 stars. Although I do think that the fluff got a little long, but now I'm like, well, of course I'm glad that there was the fluff, because I got to spend happy times with my characters, not just sad times. I'm still gonna give it 5 stars. It was very spicy all the way throughout. I think I have to give this one a 4. Just because of content. The book was so long that, like, it wasn't a full 5, but this one's gonna be a 4. One thing that I did notice about the book that just was like besides just raving about what actually happened in it, I feel like there are still a lot of loose ends that were touched on that didn't really go anywhere. Like, we got one of the stones that Orion was looking for, but then it was never mentioned again. It was never talked about that they even told the twins that they had gotten that stone. So like, there are some things that just happened but then didn't really matter. Like, they matter hopefully because these are one of the things that like we've been working for throughout this series and have built up to, but what's going to come of them? What's going to happen with them? Especially since Orion was the head of the order. He never really inducted anybody else into it. He was searching for these stones, but now he is with Lavinia. Like, there's just so many loose ends that I can see how difficult it would be for them to just wrap it up into one next book. I'm still pissed that I now have to wait a whole nother year to find out the end. Although I do think 10 is quite a nice round number, and typically 10 seasons of a show is really nice. And I think I would get over having to wait for that. Just saying. Please tell me I am not alone in how I have felt at the end of this book. Funny story, so I actually thought I saw spoilers for this book. And so I went into it thinking that Darcy and Tory died. Like, I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And I was waiting for it to happen the whole way. Like, that was the spoiler that I saw, was Darcy and Tory died. And so in my head, I was like, oh, they're going to go train with the Phoenix Queen. They're going to learn that they can like be mortally wounded and then like rise from the ashes because they're Phoenix. And like, I know they touched on that they can't like bring people back to life and stuff like that. So I don't want to believe that Darius is gone forever, but like part of me thinks he might be gone forever. I was totally thinking that they were going to die and then come back in the next book, but that's not what happened. Let's just hope that's Darius. And let's hope that something that Tory has with her Phoenix can save Darcy. Because if she turns mortal and has to go live back in the mortal world, and then Tory is the only queen on the throne by herself because her mate is dead, I am going to lose my mind. I can't even make predictions. If you have predictions, tell me what they are, because like I can't even make predictions. I don't even want to, but I want to hear yours. So tell me what they are. Tell me if I am being crazy, if you felt the same way, if you are just as worried for the next book as I am, if you will be reading it with me on December 11th, like literally midnight, queuing up the book like it's gonna happen. I still need to buy my physical copy. I don't have 7 yet. I need to buy 7 and then I need to pre-order 8 so I have them all on the shelf. If you watched this whole video, you should already know how to get access to the book. You should know that it's on Kindle Unlimited. You should know that you can have a physical copy, but I'll just put all that stuff down there just like normal. Don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. But I'm still recovering from this. I'm still recovering. Talk to you guys later.